Hey guys, it's Crash here with Crashing Down Survivor South Pacific Episode 2. Doing it a little different this time. Used to me typing out the text. This go around, I'm going to do a little video blog here, and I'm probably going to mix these up. I'm going to alternate from text to video each week and see how it works. This might add a little bit more of my inner stupendous personality to the Survivor blogs. So episode 2 was a very interesting episode. I wouldn't say anything groundbreaking, but there's some of the formatics of the game starting to begin. You're starting to see some alliances form, starting to see a little personality out of these players, and enemies with lines in the sand have started to be drawn. The episode started out, Savai had just lost their challenge. They voted off Semhar, the first person he voted off of the game. Luckily for her, again this season, the twist of Redemption Island was in play, so she got to go there, started crying, being a little baby about Survivor, basically, and saying she can't believe, well, they turned on me, That's your fault for not having a strategy coming into the game. You wanted to try and be a hero, you wanted to try and voice yourself right at the beginning. If you know anything about Survivor trends, the heroes in day 1 usually end up becoming the people voted off on day 3. You belong on Redemption Island, Semhar, and be happy that you have a chance to try and get back in the game. And good for you that Maddie isn't playing this season, who ran the table at Redemption Island last season. So, looking at this season's characters, we got some interesting ones so far, and one guy in particular I would definitely put a star by is Jim from the Savai Tribe, the poker guy. He tried to make some grounds this episode on trying to form an alliance. He's calling it the 3+2 alliance, where he's trying to align with Ozzy and Keith, get the 3 more macho men guys on the tribe together, and then add the 2 girls as acquaintances, affiliates, whatever you want to call them, basically keeping them there for numbers and then making them disposable. I understand the strategy. The strategy does work in certain cases. We've seen Rob get some girls that had absolutely no idea what they were doing on the show Survivor and ride it all the way to the end. But you gotta hope that these girls are down for being at the bottom of the totem pole. They're not all as dumb as they look, and Whitney and Elise, I have a feeling, might be a little bit better players than the previous females we saw last season. The other thing, Jim, he's a poker player. He thinks he's running the show. He isn't running anything right now. He's going to align with the 3 guys. He's putting himself at the bottom of the 3 guys of his main alliance. That is an absolute Survivor no-no. You always want to be in the middle. I preach this 1,000,000 to 1.5 million times. The best strategy on Survivor is you want that 3-person strict alliance that maybe you're not going to run to the end, but you can use them to get to the end and then make your play to either take them out or use their distractions so they get voted out, deflecting attention to you, because the game is never going to go the exact way you want it. You have to make adjustments, you have to have worst case scenario plans. The game cannot be played with one plan all the way through like it used to be about 5 or 6 years ago. You have to be able to adapt, because the people are quicker moving now when it comes to strategical play. They understand it a lot better. You have to be ready for everything that comes your way. And Jim right now, I think he's only fooling himself that he can ride these guys to the end. Ozzy should know better, because he's made the mistake a couple times of riding power players to the end, that it probably isn't going to work in his favor. I think he's going to be a little smarter this time in this go-around. The other guy in their little powwow is Keith. He's a muscular guy, very strong in challenges, and I think he's going to be a player that will last up through the merge. Problem with him is he's a guy that's kind of following Ozzy's footsteps right now. We've seen that last season. His name escapes me, the yoga instructor that followed Rob around. It is not something I would recommend. I think it could work to an extent. He's put himself in a good position to be in the middle of that 3-man alliance, if that thing's going to be something that lasts for a while. But it's not a place where you want to rely on. You have to be able to make a play later on. I have my doubts that he's going to be the type of guy that's smart enough to use this to his advantage, but let's hope he does. Also at Savai, the other big thing that happened was Ozzy finding the hidden immunity idol. I don't know how these guys find these things so quick. I tell you, when I get on the show, hopefully one day, I will be one of those people searching for it, pretty conspicuously trying to find it. You definitely don't want to be like Christine on Upalo, who gets there on day one, is trying to tear down the camp trying to find it. But Ozzy climbs up a tree. He's great at doing that. We know that from past seasons. Finds it without any clues, and it is now in his power. He's been here before. Hopefully he knows how to play it correctly this time. There's no parv in the game, so maybe he won't get voted out with an idol this time. So going into the immunity challenge, Upalo versus Savai. Upalo comes in very confident this time. Coach leading his troops, saying they'll hopefully win all the immunities, which I find highly unlikely because I see Savai is a much more physical tribe. They've got some guys on their team that look to be pretty strong. I don't know how they are up in the head yet. 2 episodes is a little early to tell, but they seem to be a strong tribe, and they proved it in this challenge. With Cochran, you know, kind of a guy that brings the whole tribe down. He looked a little rough for Savai at the beginning, but the men really kicked it in towards the end. Upalo had a huge lead. All the girls, they got some strong girls on their tribe on Upalo. Starting off with Michaela. I mean, this girl has got great athletic skills. I mean, she played in a lingerie football league. I gotta start watching those games a little bit now. But, you know, she plays there. She definitely shows her skill out there. Some of the other girls aren't too shabby either. They took a huge lead. You saw a real difference at the end of the challenge where they had to make a puzzle, heavy blocks, pushing. The guys for Upalo just will not stand up to the guys with Savai in those types of challenges. Savai easily winning that one at the end, getting their first immunity win. And in addition, they also got bed, blankets, all that good stuff. So that'll make them sleep a little better, give them maybe an advantage going into the next set of challenges. So Upalo, first vote, and it got pretty interesting. The main character we're talking about here, Brandon Hance, the nephew of Russell Hance. This guy couldn't be any more different until he starts trying to pick on Michaela to vote her off. He comes on as this guy. He wants to clear the Hance family name. He wants to be a guy for God or whatever he's trying to say, or make the right decisions, basically. And I feel that. I like that out of him. I like that he's different than Russell, because the same little ploy isn't going to work 2 times. They're going to find those Hance tattoos on his body eventually, you have to think. He already confessed it to Coach, and Coach seems a bit indifferent, but is going to go with it. So getting on to Brandon, he has this beef with Michaela for whatever reason. He says she's too sexy around camp. She reminds him of she reminds him of poverty, and he's scared about that. And you know, I don't blame him. He needs to be able to evaluate the tribe. He needs to be able to make his decisions early of who's going to be a threat, who's going to be on his side, and who needs to go. He thinks Michaela needs to go. Fine. But part of Survivor is being able to play with people you don't like because they have a service that you need right now. Michaela's service is she's the most athletic girl in the game. Upalo votes her out. They lose every immunity challenge from here on out. Terrible idea, Brandon. Don't go spouting off like this. He goes spouting off to everyone we should get rid of Michaela. It's not a good idea. It puts you as public enemy number 1. But if you're in his alliance, it makes it kind of sketchy to trust him now, because the plan was Coach actually orchestrating a pretty good plan here. I'm actually proud of Coach. He's playing a decent social game so far. We'll see how that lasts. But he wants to orchestrate getting off Christine, but also splitting votes with Stacy, 2 of the older, weaker females in the tribe who haven't really done anything. The only thing they've really done is Christine opened her mouth and got on everybody's nerves. Well, why would you do that in the first couple days, saying that Coach and Ozzy are only temporary players? Do you like having a target on your back from day one? Either way, talks about splitting the votes. Coach in his alliance with Albert, Brandon, of course. Michaela was kind of a late addition. Edna, a late addition. And a couple other guys. So I'm still trying to learn these names here. Rick, Sophie, the other ones. And they have the plan to split these up, but Brandon wants to change it all up. What he wants to do is vote off Michaela, and then he's going to go tell, behind the back of his newly formed alliance, he's going to go tell Christine and Stacy to vote for her too. Not a good idea, but I really don't know what Brandon's thinking. He has some demons, obviously, as Coach said during the episode, that we may not know about why he wants to get rid of her so bad. He's afraid of cheating on his wife. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on with Michaela. I understand what strategies she's using. She might be using the sexy strategy. She might be very athletic and very threatening to other players, but it's just too early in the game to be worrying about that. What you need to worry about now is keeping your tribe strong and winning immunities. If I'm ever going to agree with Coach about anything, it's the beginning of the game. You don't need to be manipulative. You just need to try and win immunities, make the tribe strong, form bonds, because if you can go into the merge with a tight alliance and people who think they are in a tight alliance with you, you can desecrate the other tribe and implement the game you've had in your head that you're just waiting to deploy. That is the game of Survivor to me. If I ideally can do it, that's what I want to do. Get 3 to 5 people, 3 in a major alliance, be right in the middle of my 3, have them deflect all the attention as my security blanket, have the numbers, take them out, go on to winning $1 million. Wish it was that easy, though. So we get to the ending tribal council here. A lot of bickering going on right now. Coach very disgusted that Brandon isn't following the plan, that he wants to stray from the alliance this early. Definitely not going to work in his favor later on. He's going to be at the bottom of that alliance if he continues in this fashion. So Coach, what he does when he gets there is shows that this guy has picked up maybe something or two in the game. He pins Christine and Stacy basically against Michaela, saying, why did you guys say you were going to vote her out, or you guys were going to vote her out, whatnot. They never really said that. Brandon was the one who said it to them and trying to get them to vote. But by doing that, Coach deflected attention and got the tribe to kind of go versus each other because he knew more information than the others knew. And basically, Christine, being the loud, boisterous, annoying lady she is, she was able to make herself look bad in front of the tribe and probably helped Brandon to get back on page and vote with the rest of the tribe. Very interesting tribal council. A lot of people really didn't know what they were doing. We've seen votes come off for Stacy and Christine as they split. We've seen a vote thrown towards Edna, who's a very smart girl, I think could play a good role later in this game. And we've seen a vote thrown at Sophie. 4 different people voted for. Ultimately, 1 extra vote was thrown towards Christine. There was no immunity idol in place, so splitting the votes, a good strategy, wasn't really needed to be done. Christine voted off by 1 extra vote, sent to Redemption Island, where she will face Semhar in the next episode. That's where she deserves to be. She wanted to be loud. Semhar wanted to be loud. They both can go be loud together on Redemption Island because that is where they belong. They were wasted contestants on this show, but I guess they can try and prove me wrong now with the Redemption Island twist. So wrapping this one up, Ozzy gets Player of the Week, mainly because he looked great in the Immunity Challenge, and he did a great job of finding the hidden immunity idol. He's definitely got power on his side. Can he change it this go-around? Can he play a complete game, not only a physical game, not only a social game, but a strategic, full-rounded game and get himself to the end? It's only going to get harder, and I have a feeling he will need that immunity idol, whether he actually plays it or he uses it to kind of scare people, if you will. It can also be a cancer if people find out, so he's got to watch who he tells. If I were him, I'd keep it to myself, at least for a week or two, to try and figure out how he wants to play it and let the people's personalities get more involved, figure out who hates who loves who, and who needs to go. Then that idol can be played much more to his advantage. During the next episode, one thing I look for also, Brandon Hance, Michaela, the worms are out of the bag. He admitted that he was the one trying to vote her out at Tribal Council. How is this going to play? Will Michaela raise a big stink over it? Will she be cool with it? I think she's going to be a good player in this game. I really hope they keep her around. I like the athleticism she brings. Probably my early favorite female in this one. I want to see what she can bring, especially out of a 21-year-old chick. I'm already very impressed by her standing out there. So next time, we'll kick it off again. It'll probably be typing my next blog. Hope you guys like the video format of this one. It's Crash. It's Crashing Down Survivor South Pacific. Let's keep it rolling and keep on jamming Aggie on Hit Music Station, Candy 95. Let's catch you guys this weekend.